Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Theblackroseherself, and in today's video we have a very special guest. This is my boyfriend Orlando.
Hello.
Alright, and in today's video we will be talking about our very fun but short trip. We went out to New Jersey, we went out to Philly for the weekend. We got to spend time with my mom and my stepdad, so I'm very excited to tell you guys about this trip. And we are actually going to be doing some Philly cheesesteak ratings because that's what we went out for. We tried two different cheesesteaks. One, what was it, Friday night? And then the other one Saturday afternoon. And we're going to see which one was better. So we left Friday afternoon, in the early afternoon, just so we could make sure that we missed all the train traffic heading back into New Jersey. And the train ride was about an hour and a half. We left from Penn Station on the New Jersey Transit train, and it was a really smooth ride. We got some snacks, some smoothies. We had all our stuff ready to go, and we were super excited for this trip because it's our first vacation together that we've ever taken since we started dating, and it was just an experience that we were looking forward to. Once we arrived in New Jersey, we pulled into the Trenton Transit Center, which is pretty big train station, and we walked out the station and we headed over to the River Line train, which is an above ground train that makes various stops throughout New Jersey in different towns, and that was about a half-hour ride to where my mom lives. Once we got off the River Line at Burlington Town Center, which is where my mom lives, we got to walk through history. Literally, we got to walk through time. Burlington is a very small historic town with a population of about 80,000 people, which is very cool because it's a fun fact that I didn't even know. And it's just really nice to see the quaint quietness of a town like Burlington. Once we walked to my mom's, it was a surprise. She unfortunately was not home when we arrived, and we ended up standing outside of her door for about 10 minutes, knocking and waiting, and we got the hint that she wasn't home. So we ended up walking around a little more, and we went to go get some lunch. Being that I've been to Burlington, I knew a perfect spot to introduce my boyfriend to, and that spot is B Uno's on High Street. It is this very small, very cute diner, and they have such a variety on their menu. They have burgers, they have wings, they have delicious fried pickles, which, if I do say so myself, are absolutely appetizing. Once we finished lunch at B Uno's, we walked back over to my mom's house. Unfortunately, we had to spoil the surprise and tell her that we were in town because we wanted to knock on the door and see her face glow. But she ended up finding out that we were here, so we walked back and knocked on the door one more time, and she opened. After spending the afternoon at home and relaxing, getting to spend time with my mom and my stepdad, we ordered Philly cheesesteaks for dinner. We only thought it right since the next day we were going out to Philly to try cheesesteaks. So we decided to get some from Gaetanos Italian Deli. Day 2, we stayed in Burlington for the morning, and then we drove out to PA. So my boyfriend and I started our morning early, and we ended up in Evermore Coffee Roasters, which is a really cute cafe in Burlington. They have really good coffee. He got a cappuccino and I got an iced chai latte. That is my go-to if it's not black coffee. Once we got ready in the morning, we hit the road and headed out to Philly. It was such a cool drive because it's only 30 minutes from where my mom lives, so we weren't even on the road that long. And getting to see the skyline from the highway was really cool because it's such a beautiful view, seeing different city skylines. Once we got into the city, we headed down to South Street, which is where we got our next Philly cheesesteak. Down on South Street, you can see Jim's South Street Steaks, which is where we got the second Philly cheesesteak, and it was to die for. Once you get into the doorway, it's definitely an old school feel. There are pictures, autographs, and articles all about Jim's South Street and the amazing success this branch has had, and the smell inside is absolutely rich. The very cool thing about the inside of Jim's South Street is that once you get to the front to order your Philly cheesesteak, there is a window where you can see the sandwiches being made. So the best part about it is, as much as you may want to jump through the window and start eating, you just gotta wait a little longer. But it's very cool to get to see your sandwich being made in front of you. This trip was a lot of fun, and especially driving through the city because we got to see Penn's Landing. We got to see the Philadelphia Vietnam Veterans Memorial, which definitely meant a lot because my grandfather on my mother's side is a Vietnam War veteran. So it meant a lot to get to see that. As you can see, these sandwiches are absolutely just amazing to look at, and they even taste better than they look, trust me. And I cannot wait to go back and get more. Right after finishing a delicious sandwich, we headed out to Rita's to get some soft serve. We got vanilla soft serve with whipped cream, and we got to try some new flavors, which is really fun. Day 3, we ended up waking up a little earlier than expected, having eaten such a big meal the day before. And my boyfriend and I went out to Amy's Diner, and they have breakfast and lunch specials. Everything in there is absolutely delicious. Once we finished a very, very filling breakfast at Amy's, we headed out to Cherry Hill, and I got to show my boyfriend the mall that my mom used to take me to as a kid. Getting to spend time with my boyfriend outside of being home is just very special. Once we got to the mall, we stopped by Woops. They sell macarons. They are delicious. My mom definitely wanted some, so I got her rosé, strawberry, and raspberry. Well, I got myself cookies and cream, pina colada, and red velvet. For dinner, we got sushi from Jing's Sushi House, which is really delicious. I think it's really cool to try foods that you usually eat at home, but from different locations because not all locations sell the same items. So it was absolutely amazing. And sadly, like every trip, they must come to an end. So for our last day out in New Jersey, we headed to J&B's Bakery, which is this very small bakery out in Burlington as well. And everything is freshly baked. So the cookies, the cakes, the bread, the donuts, the cookie trays, everything is made and everything is fresh and absolutely just mouth-watering. All the different casings that they have displaying all the treats that they make just made you want to buy everything, go home, and eat yourself into a food coma. But that can't happen. All right, guys. So at this point, we are going to start rating the cheesesteaks. So the first one was from Gaetanos Italian Deli out in Burlington, New Jersey. And that one is actually my stepdad's favorite Philly cheesesteak. He loves the way they're made. He loves the entirety of the sandwich itself. But obviously everyone has their own opinion. So, babe, what'd you think of Gaetanos?
Unfortunately, the meat was bland because they put too much of it, and the bread wasn't the right consistency. So it, between the water from the steak and the softness of the bread, it broke apart, which isn't a good sign. They don't use a classic cheese whiz, which is something that is known for a Philly cheesesteak. So basically, the cheese whiz having salt and the provolone not having enough salt made the sandwich even more bland, and it just didn't hold up to what a Philly cheesesteak should normally taste like, let alone hold up to.
Well, you just gave a whole description of a sandwich, right? Gaetanos wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad at all. It was really good. We had, what was it, grilled onions and mushrooms?
Yeah, so it was grilled onions and mushrooms with provolone and a ton of steak on a sesame seed hero, the size of about, I would say,
maybe a little longer,
15 inches.
Yeah, it was a very big sandwich. I was very overwhelmed by the size when it got delivered because I didn't expect it to be as big as it was, but it was very delicious. It wasn't that bad. Out of 10, I'll probably give it like a 6. It wasn't that bad. Not that bad at all. But Jim's South Street out in Philly took my heart away. I'm sorry. It was absolutely delicious. Everything from the cheese whiz that they used to the hero that they used, the meat, the way it was cooked and seasoned. What did I do on mine? I got grilled onions. Oh, I got it as a hoagie. I got grilled onions, lettuce, and tomatoes on mine, and added ketchup to it at home. So delicious. Yeah, I'm sorry. Jim South Street took my heart. They won.
For me, I did the pepper steak, which had grilled bell peppers, and I added grilled onions to it. I did it classic style with just cheese whiz, and one of the good things was that the steak itself is sliced fresh. It's not from a box, and it's grilled consistently. And like I said, because of the fact that they use cheese whiz, it gave it that savory taste to the meat. But then the grilled onions and the peppers gave it a nice little crunch and like a hint of sweetness. The bread held up a lot better because it was more of a classic Italian roll versus a sesame seed. So I would go with Jim's versus Gaetanos.
Yeah. I love my stepdad, but sorry. Jim's South Street won for both of us. And my mom loves Jim's too. She was a very big fan of it. That's why she took us there. But it was amazing. And yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, so that makes it 3-1. Sorry, but Craig, you kind of lose. You're gonna have to keep your soggy bread with you.
Well, those are our ratings on the sandwiches, guys. If you guys want, the links to both will be down below in the description box. And if you're out in Philly or out in Burlington, New Jersey, you can try them for yourself. Thank you so much, guys, for watching my video. Like, comment, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Hit that bell button to get notifications on when I post new videos. And in the description box below will be the links to my website, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter account. See you in the next video.